Do you know of the water of life?
How could I not start with the neon blue worm juice that I literally saw get sucked out of a worm and was still sitting there thinking,
I want to drink that.
So, go get your ingredients and let's get started. This is only one of my many Dune cocktails, so if you like a sweet minty drink that tastes like roses, or a stiff drink for those with refined tastes, then make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can check out my next cocktails in the series, the Arrakis Julep and Spice and Still Suits. This drink is very similar to a Dark and Stormy, only it's a blue and wormy. No? Bad joke? A Dark and Stormy is just rum and ginger beer, but for this one, we are switching out the rum for cachaça and adding in some blue curaçao for the color, which is frankly the only thing that I ever use blue curaçao for. If you're wondering what cachaça is too, it is a cane spirit just like rum, only where rum is made from the sugar byproducts, cachaça is actually made from just the pure cane juice. This actually gives it a funkier, more grassy flavor than rum. It's actually one of the most popular spirits in Brazil. And as somebody who grew up chewing on sugarcane all the time, it's also one of the most popular spirits in my heart. My sweet baby. 2 ounces of our cachaça. Now for some blue curaçao, which should have come first, actually. I should have done this before the cachaça, but it is what it is. All right, so now we'll shake, because it's got some lime juice in it. All right. Let's grab a glass and throw some ice in this one too. Best practice here is absolutely to frost your glass, but I tend to not think that far ahead. Now let's strain into the glass. The last thing to do is to just top it off with the ginger beer. Pour it right down the spoon. I would say this is probably about 2 ounces of ginger beer, roughly. Now I just give it sort of a light up and down with the spoon, and there we go. We got the water of life. All right, let's see how it tastes. This may be poison, but it is not as poisonous as the real water of life from the movie. That's so refreshing. It's like, it's sweet, but it's not overly sweet. It's like, you know those blue drinks that you get on a beach? It's like if you took that, but then you dialed the sugar down, but you cranked the funk up. And I really think it's the funk from the cachaça and the zestiness of the ginger beer that really helps it hit as not quite as sweet as like a typical Dark and Stormy would. The lime juice is present, but it's not super in the foreground. It's more like a backlight, and it's just lighting up all the other flavors that do come to the front, that ginger beer and the cachaça funk. What would I rate this? I think I would rate this a relaxing summer day in Arrakis out of 10. I can't stop sipping it. It's just too tasty. Odds are you probably don't have cachaça. And it's pretty unlikely that you even have ginger beer. And unless you've done this before, you maybe don't even have a shaker. But you probably do have some rum and some ginger ale and a coffee mug. This is the easy mode version of this drink, and it still tastes just as good without needing to buy a whole bunch of ingredients or a whole bunch of equipment. And the best part is, you can make it right now. Good luck with that, I'll be sipping. Oh, I gotta set this aside. I don't need to drink that whole thing. I've got 2 other drinks to make. I can't drink that other one. We're gonna start this one the same way as the other one and get our 1/4 ounce of lime juice going here. So maybe you don't even have a juicer. So let's see if we can just get a 1/4 ounce out of half a lime. Wow, this lime is really freaking hard. I am the juicer. All right, now that I've power pressed that thing, did I get a 1/4 ounce? If you don't have blue curaçao either, maybe see if you can buy a nip of it. If you can't get a nip of blue curaçao, then you could also substitute it for Gatorade, actually. Spoilers, that's what I'm gonna do for my non-alcoholic version. I've been talking a lot of trash on this blue curaçao. I feel like I need to taste it again and make sure that it is as uncomplex, I guess you could say, as I remember it being. I mean, it smells slightly orangey in like a Sunny D kind of way. That sucks. When it's in the drink, you don't notice it, but I don't like blue curaçao. I barely like regular curaçao. And I wonder if it also dyed my lips blue. Maybe I should use the Blue Dawn instead. Nah, just kidding. And then our 2 ounces of rum. I built this in the shaker like I was going to shake it in the shaker. So we're actually not going to use this shaker. We're going to use the coffee mug. But if you don't have one of these, this just works perfectly because it's got a strainer built in essentially, because you just open the little mouthpiece and shake it out. But if you don't have one of these, you can also use a blender bottle if you are a gym rat, which also kind of gets the same filter effect, just at a bigger hole. But lastly, you've got, if you don't have either of those, you've got to have a Tupperware. Just use a Tupperware if you don't have either of those. Dump some ice in here, dump the drink in here, and shake it. This is an insulated cup, so it does take away a sense of feel, because I mean, you know, you shake a cocktail like 8 to 10 seconds, but also I feel like there's an element of you feel it getting cold, you feel it get to the right amount of cold, and that's how you know it's done. But it is what it is here. So let's just shake this. Yeah, it really doesn't, it's like the same exact temperature that I started with. Grab another glass here, dump our 3 big cubes in, and let's see how well this strains everything. Oh yeah, that's working pretty good. I do feel like there's still some kind of trapped in there. Not too bad for being a Contigo. And then I actually don't have ginger ale, so in the spirit of using whatever you do have, I'm just gonna use the rest of this ginger beer. And we're good. It looks like the exact same drink. The only difference is you didn't spend a whole bunch of money, an extra 30 bucks to buy cachaça. Yeah, here, let's do a side by side. It's every bit the worm juice that it was before. Definitely still a solid drink. Not as complex as the cachaça makes it, but maybe that's good to some people. This is definitely like lighter, sweeter, more accessible, but this is definitely not like a dumbed down version from the previous drink in any way. It's just a different version and absolutely worth making if you thought the first one was cool, but don't want to buy all the stuff for it. This is great, and so is the last one, but what about those that don't partake in the devil's water? Well, I've got you covered too. And I think the non-alcoholic version that I'm gonna make is actually even better than this one. So go get your ingredients. So this one, instead of rum and blue curaçao, we're actually going to use coconut water, which sounds really weird, but it's good. I promise you it's good. And this one, I'm actually going to build right in the glass because I am not gonna shake it, and I invite you to do the same. The idea of having to shake something might be a little bit intimidating, so just don't do it. Start with something like this that's not shaken, not alcoholic, but oh so beginner friendly. We're also going to up our Gatorade to a full ounce just because this, you'll see it in the final product, but this Gatorade, it's just not as dark. This one's much lighter than this one, and that does make an impact on the color of the drink. So if you see a dark blue Gatorade, definitely go for that one. Don't go for the lighter blue one like I did. This one is cool blue, so if they have like two deep in the ocean blue, go for that one. It's kind of crazy just how good the coconut water works as a substitute for this one. It actually shares a lot of the same funky notes that the cachaça has, so I would say this one's gonna actually turn out more similar to the true version of this cocktail that I made first than the rum version. Because we didn't actually shake this one, in order to cool it, I would recommend you put in some ice and just stir it a little bit first. All right, and then our last 2 cubes. And now we top it with our ginger beer or ginger ale, just like we did the other 2. This is definitely not as blue as our original cocktail. Hold on, wait, let me get my other ones for comparison. This one definitely looks like it was sucked straight out the worm. This one, a little bit less so. But like I said, you can try to get the darker Gatorade if you can find it. If not, you can always cheat a little bit and just have some food coloring if you really want that neon color. If you want to feel like you're drinking essence of sandworm. And you don't need a lot. Like, look how little I've got on this bar spoon. And then I'll just mix that in. All right, and there we go. It's about the same color. And nobody has to know that it's just blue 40.
I'd know the difference.
So now that we've added a little bit of cancer to it, so now that it's nice and blue, let's taste the Water of Life, non-alcoholic edition. That's really good. This is a drink that is absolutely greater than the sum of its parts. I would never guess that this is Gatorade and coconut water. The lack of alcohol and blue curaçao definitely make this feel so much more light and refreshing. It's like you're relaxing on top of a dune in Arrakis, huffing the spice as the gentle breeze blows it under your nose. But then you hear it, the thumper. You know the worms are coming. You know you need to run. And that's the moment you're glad you made the non-alcoholic version, so you can actually escape with your life. You can thank me later. Here, let's actually compare all 3 to see how they stack up. And I mean, well, hold on. Yeah, they all look basically the exact same. But you can make at least one of these without having to spend a whole bunch of money and buying a whole bunch of ingredients. You probably have everything you need to make at least one of these. If you like this, I've also released a complete series you can check out where we make more Dune cocktails and dive into how AMC botched their original Dune cocktail while simultaneously making what has got to be the best popcorn bucket of all time. And how Dune stacks up against its predecessor, Dune 1984. Did you know there was a 1984 version of Dune? Well, you may wish you didn't, because it is weird and wild.
I want to spit once on your head.
But with that, I will let you go, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.